I still can't believe that this episode is happening. This is the Stanley Cup Final. We've made it. After all the struggles in this series, all the disappointments, players just choking, the team choking in the playoffs time and time again this season, we've finally been able to put it together. And yeah, I am the most surprised out of anybody that the Draft to Glory series, finally maybe things started to go in a similar way. Maybe they didn't. And now in this series, things have finally started to go our way. We don't win the division title. We lose Erik Karlsson for the postseason. And in the aftermath, we beat the Vegas Golden Knights in 5 games. We beat the Vancouver Canucks in 5 games. And we beat the Chicago Blackhawks in 6. Now we take on the Philadelphia Flyers in the Stanley Cup Final. Now, whether or not it's due to the departure of Erik Karlsson, maybe we did just need a change up on that second line as we moved on from Logan Couture and brought in Vitaly Kravtsov this past season. And really, when you look at it, the team has changed a lot. Pasternak, Kravtsov, the addition of Thomas Chabot, who thank God we brought in, or who knows what the hell this defense would be looking like right about now. You just look at this team, Riley Tufte brought in on a cheap contract. Only has 5 points, but in terms of depth and what he brings to the team, it was a no-brainer to sign him to the contract that we did. And we've gone over this team time and time again in terms of who needs to step up. It's fairly obvious. Everybody, even Vitaly Kravtsov, needs to step up, get the job done, because we're 4 wins away from finally winning with this damn team, when in reality you'd like to think we would have at least had a cup final appearance by now, let alone probably have won the Stanley Cup at some point. Henrik Gustafson was shaky in that last round. We need him to be on his game. Everybody has to be on their game. Now, when it comes to the rankings at this point, the overall rankings, we have the edge on paper everywhere except for goaltending. So I am very intrigued to see who that goaltender is for the Flyers and just what we're up against. So with our team, not much to talk about. The team, who's doing well, who needs to carry their weight. But when it comes to the Flyers, this is what we're up against, and it is a unique setup. Oh, baby, that could just be what we needed. Ivan Provorov is currently out. He will be back in 3 days, but he is going to miss Game 1 of this series. So this just became a must-win game, no matter what. The forward core is 33-year-old Ryan Johansson, who's had a decent offseason, Morgan Frost, and Bobby Brink. So we got to look out for Brink with him being a created player because they always perform well. Just look at Vitaly Kravtsov. Sean Couturier on the second line with Nolan Patrick and Connor Garland. Third line of Austin Wagner, J.G. Pajot, and Travis Konechny in a fourth line of Joel Farabee, Kevin Hayes, and Jordan Greenway. That is some ridiculous talent on the fourth line. So really, I don't understand the setup that they're going with here, but they have talent all throughout the lineup because of it. And on the defensive side of things, it's a pretty good thing for us that Provorov is out, because this is a strong D-core. You have Travis Sanheim, who has just ridiculous numbers, next to Jared Spurgeon, who I imagine is not who he normally plays next to. Tony Immonen, former 2022 draft pick, 12th overall, is next to Freddie Allard, and the third pair of former Shark, Brendan Dillon, and Christian Wolanin. So we've seen everything, except the goaltending. Now, is their rating higher because they're backups of a higher overall, or do they have a superstar goalie? They have a superstar goalie. Carter Hart, Cat-a-Hat is there. .927. Save percentage with a 2.10 GAA at a 91 overall. Getting paid the big bucks. So, at the very least, game one needs to be a win. Do we have what it takes to beat this team? Yes. Will we beat this team? I don't know. I would really like to think so. But time will tell. And luckily for you and for me, for us, that time is right now. The Sharks have finally made it. Will we let this opportunity slip through our fingers? That is the question. Here we go. First period of game one. And it's 1 goal apiece. Bobby Brink on the power play. I would really like power play, or should I say PK concerns, to not be an issue. But Bobby Brink scores early. Cole Sillinger was able to get the goal back later on in the period. Even in shots, even on the board, Brink and Sillinger with the goals. Second period, an advantage for the Flyers. Joel Farabee starts the scoring. Timo Meier ties it up. Sean Couturier on the power play. We go to the third, down by 1 in what is, again, in my opinion, a must-win game with them lacking their top defenseman in Ivan Provorov. Thomas Chabot scores. Speaking of top defensemen, we're tied at 3 as Bobby Brink scores another one. Henrik Gustafson not exactly having the game that we need him to have right now, and I think that's going to be too little too late. I just don't think it's going to happen. 2 minutes left. The Flyers score the empty netter. Bobby Brink with the hat trick. Philly wins on the road to start this series. Gustafson just not doing what we need him to do in that one. And ultimately, the penalty trouble didn't help either. It really, really didn't. Nurse, Pasternak, Hanifin, Nurse again. Hell, I'm almost tempted to scratch Darnell Nurse and bring in Tim Heed, because at least Tim Heed doesn't take as many penalties as Darnell Nurse does. I mean, 6 penalty minutes there, 6 for Pasta. Have a couple of 8s across the board. Some penalty time for Gregor despite an 84 in discipline. And then you get to Darnell Nurse, who has 18 penalty minutes, and Errol Houston, who is also physical, is causing some issues. We're not going to make changes now. That would more be desperate times call for desperate measures. But if they get a couple of power play goals in this game, we have to scratch the problem players. And that might cost us a cup. But no matter what penalty kill strat we've gone with in terms of the personnel that we use, we're not killing enough penalties. So at that point, we'd have to remove the problem players, and that could completely screw us. But for now, we'll focus on game 2. Ivan Provorov, if he's back, he's not 100%. Regardless, we need a win here, or the Flyers will be up 2-0 in this series, winning both games on the road. First period, and an advantage for Philly. 2 power play goals. Emanin and Provorov. Second period, we tie it up. Shorthanded goal from center ice for Thomas Chabot, and a goal for Vitaly Kravtsov from center ice. Now look, I get that the game's just randomly generating where the hell the goals are coming from, but essentially what you're telling me is that Thomas Chabot, from the in-game sim, just took a slap shot and went in, which can happen. Dougie Hamilton's done it. It happens a couple times a season. But 2 goals from center ice, one of them was shorthanded. How I wish I could see a generated replay, which, speaking of which, NFL 2K5 had the ability to generate highlight reels for games that you didn't even play in. Why isn't that a feature nowadays? I want to see this Thomas Chabot goal. I don't know. It'd be pretty nice. Regardless, Chabot and Kravtsov score. We're tied at 2. Shots are just about even as we head to the third period. in what might as well be a must-win game after we blew it in Game 1 and let them off the hook. Riley Tufte scores to put us up by 1. But we have a long way to go, and I don't know if I trust Gustafson or the penalty kill right about now. 6 minutes remaining. Can we hold on is the question. David Pastrnak, huge goal. Power play for the Flyers. It's too little too late. And thankfully, the offense prevails. Chabot, Kravtsov, Tufte, and Pastrnak with the goals, and we are back in this series, outshooting them 14-5 in that third period. So we ultimately lost the face-off battle. And in terms of penalties, it was Hanifin and Heinonen. So not the two that I would have expected. More penalties, Gambrell, Foligno, and Sillinger. This team cannot stay out of the box as a collective unit. And we're lucky it didn't cost us that game, much like it cost us in Game 2. But regardless, we can at least move forward on a more positive note as this series is in fact tied. Now, as much as I'm tempted, we're obviously going to leave things the same. I'm still very much worried about Houston and Nurse in terms of the amount of penalties. I mean, Nurse has 75 discipline, so it makes sense, but Houston has an 83. And I mean, for these two, you would have thought they had discipline in the 50s with how bad it's been. But for now, we'll leave it. Not exactly desperate times, calling for desperate measures, but the team needs to be better. Stay out of the box. Gustafson, for sure. I mean, he has to be better, penalty kill or not. We need some more big saves out of him. We get the win in Game 2. We switch over to the first 2 games of the series in Philadelphia. If it was up to me, it'd be the only 2, and we'd win this in 5. But I can't exactly think that far ahead, can I? See if we can get 2 goals from center ice on Carter Hart, by the way, in this game. First period of Game 3 and a 1-0 lead for the Flyers. It's Bobby Brink again. 54 seconds in. I told you, computer players or created players love to score, particularly in the playoffs. And Bobby Brink is there. Vitaly Kravtsov right now. We were even in shots, but we're down 1-0. So we go to the second period where the offense shows up. Fortunately, we're still down by 1. Heinonen ties it. Frost scores. Emanen scores again. And then Dylan Gambrell gets us back to within 1. Shots are close. The score is close, but the advantage in both, is on the side of Philadelphia here. So let's get some goals. Pastrnak, Meyer, Hurdle, Meyer, Pastrnak. The top line, please. If you could show up, that'd be great. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Son of a bitch. Flyers win Game 3 and have a 2-1 series lead. We're outshot 31-29. Hart with a strong game, but I just don't feel like the offense was where it needed to be, and unfortunately, I'm concerned. I'm obviously concerned right now about the offensive output. I'm concerned about the goaltending, and I'm concerned in general because we're down 2-1 in the Stanley Cup Final. So, yeah, problems are afoot. And it's tough because obviously the urge right now is to maybe change some things up. But at the end of the day, we might as well sink or swim with what the hell we have here. Even though right now it's looking like we're going to be sinking. Power play-wise, I want to see what I can do here. And getting Kravtsov onto that top unit is pretty damn important. Again, without Erik Karlsson, I am relying on the third line to have time. Tufte doesn't, which I feel kind of bad about. But then it would require me sitting Cole Perfetti. So Tufte just doesn't have a spot. Thomas Chabot is the only guy that is there. But we're going to bump up Kravtsov and have Thomas Chabot down on that secondary unit. And that top unit should, in theory, be able to absolutely dominate. At least that is the hope. And the 4-man power play is Hurdle, Pasternak, Meyer, Shabbat. Rather than having Benin there, let's see, Gambrell, Kravtsov, Sillinger. I mean, Benin really hasn't been doing much with that time. You know what? That is the time, if we're not going to be relying on the third liners, to try and get Tufte a little bit of time, if we can. Although, whether or not I can get the boosts to work, I don't know. And it's because Tufte is a grinder, and it's going to cause issues. So that is the question. I don't think Tufte is going to work. I mean, a -1's not the worst problem to have in the world, though, I suppose. So, let's go with that. And then the penalty kill, obviously, you saw the setup before. We're going with the skill. We're going to try to fight fire with fire. And hopefully that continues to work. So here we go. Line changes, but special teams units, otherwise everyone else is staying right where they are. It's game 4. Every game in the Stanley Cup Finals must win, but if we fall down 3-1 in this series, I don't really see how we're going to be able to fight back. This needs to be a victory. Plain and simple. First period and a 1-0 lead early on. A goal for Cole Perfetti. I will take it. I don't look at the goal chart enough, but yeah, just over the right shoulder of Carter Hart. Very, very good. Vitaly Kravtsov took an elbowing penalty because, of course, he did. From a physicality standpoint, not a whole lot of open ice hitting. But overall, good stuff. Shot-wise, they take a lot of outside shots. So that's good news for us in a way. Second period, holy mother of God, I wasn't expecting that. From a 1-0 lead to a 4-2 lead, Vitaly Kravtsov scores. David Pasternak scores on the power play to make it 3-0. Johansson gets it back on the power play. Ellison makes it 4, and then Ryan Johansson scores his second of the period. 4-2 is the score here. As shot-wise, they started to encroach a little bit more. We were getting some shots from some pretty good territory. Physicality-wise, it was all them that period, which would make you think we had more of the puck. So this is a delay of game penalty on Vitaly Kravtsov that really screwed us up there. Face-off-wise as well, not too bad. Looks like we had a decent little advantage there, so I'll take it. We're up 4-2. Heading into the third period, let's see what happens here. Can we tie this series up? It's already been an unusual series for NHL 20, where normally it's first team wins 2 games, the second team ties it up as we kill off a penalty there. How nice. Of course, right now it's looking like it's going to be win-loss for the teams moving through. Power play for Philly doesn't go their way. Dylan Gambrell scores as it expires, and this series is tied at 2 games apiece. Gambrell with the dagger, 5-2, your final. And the key there, they did not get a lot of shots in that game from the slot or closer to the net. A ton of outside shots for the Flyers, so our defense did well. We were more physical that period, which makes me think they had more of the puck. Some penalty trouble, Ellison and Hanifin. I mean, I'm mainly keeping an eye out on Darnell Nurse to see what's up with that. But hey, it worked. Everything's good. And I'll take it. And the good thing is there, too, a low goal. It looks like shooting to Hart's right is proving to work out well for the team. 5-2 the final. Shots were close in that third period. Face-offs were not. 51-31 in their favor, but ultimately we get the job done. Ryan Johansson is the first star, but Perfetti and Ellison, the third line, showed up for us today. Foodie also a part of that. Tomas Hertl with 2 points. Not too many players that walked away without a point in the grand scheme of things. So we are tied at 2 games apiece. It's a best of 3 from this point on. Each team with a win and each team with a loss on home ice. We are going to keep everything exactly the same. Game 5. Let's get down to business. Let's see what happens here. Who will have a chance to take home the Stanley Cup in Game 6 back in Philadelphia? The cup will be in the building one way or another. First period is scoreless, 16 shots to 7, but not a single goal for us. And again, you see nothing but outside shots for the Flyers. Carter Hart keeps his team in it. That is unbelievable. We also got the better of them from a physicality standpoint, which is insane because you think we would have had more of the puck. We did take 2 penalties as well, so just Carter Hart, the difference maker in that period. Hopefully, we can get something going here as the Flyers are apparently going to be on the power play. It's Tomas Hertl going for a hold, so this could suck. Second period, advantage Philly. They didn't score on the power play, but it's a late goal from Bobby Brink to put the Flyers up by 1. They had 2 shots that were close to the net that period. One of them went in, and unfortunately for us, we're in a bit of trouble. Still taking more penalties than the Flyers. We need to turn around here. Let's do it. Third period. Can the offense show up? Carter Hart is stealing this game for the Flyers right now and may give them a chance to win the cup on home ice in Game 6 if it continues. Power play for Philadelphia is killed off. We have 5 minutes to get a goal here. Can we do it? Yes, we can. Hold the door. Hold the door. We're going to overtime. Noah Gregor finally finds a way to beat Carter Hart. And we are going to overtime here in Game 5. Obviously so tempted to jump in and watch it. We just don't know how long it's going to take for the goal to happen. But damn it, it's the Stanley Cup Final. It is the Stanley Cup Final. You bet your sweet ass we're watching this. The question is just how is this going to go down? What's going to happen? Let's do it. I was tempted to maybe take a look at some settings to see if there was anything worth changing. I was tempted to put it to 3-on-3 overtime if it wasn't too late to do that. But ultimately, I think we're good. And we're going to see what happens here. Let's do this. Oh, man. Overtime of Game 5 in the Stanley Cup Final. And Philly wins the opening draw. Although Sanheim gets absolutely destroyed. Interception, David Pastrnak takes a quick shot. Hart with the save. Pass to the point in front. Frost picks it off. Couple of quick chances. Philly struggling here. Meyer can't get the shot off. Pasternak's there. And Philly finally able to settle it down. A really hectic start to the period. Down the right-hand side on the half wall. Brink to Emanen. Philly working it around. Bobby Brink shoots it just wide. Glove side. Thrown in front. Hertl's there. Hertl looking to lead the counterattack. Finds David Pastrnak. Pastrnak waits it out. Dishes it low to Meyer. Back over. Hertl. Pastrnak. Nobody on the strong side. Still working it around. Can we get a shot off? Hertl can't get it. Spurgeon turns it over. Meyer's denied on the doorstep. Oh, man. Here's Ryan Johansson again. Couple of quick chances for us early. Nurse up the board. Now Noah Hannafin. Leading the way over the blue line. Hannafin into the corner. Dishes back to the point. Sauce in front's intercepted by Patrick. A tired top line still out there for Philly. As Vitaly Kravtsov recovers, dishes it up to Dylan Gambrell. Back, Darnell Nurse doesn't shoot. Dishes it for Kravtsov. Tries to throw it in front. Turned over again. Because the AI just loves mindlessly throwing pucks into the slot like a bad EASHL team as Connor Garland is denied by the glove. Oh man, Perfetti, Ellison, and Foudy are out there currently against Couturier, Patrick, and Garland. And Patrick fighting for it. Garland loses it. Foudy has trouble. He runs himself into the boards because he's a professional hockey player. Connor Garland is denied on the shot. Another quick chance there. It's third line v third line. Face-off's about even. This one goes to the Sharks. Foudy up to Perfetti. Cole Perfetti. Looking, mindlessly sauces it and turns it over. Here come the Flyers again. Drop pass. Dillon turns it over. Jean-Luc Foudy on the rush. Foudy can't get the shot off. Ellison runs himself into the boards because, again, these are professional hockey players, not 3-year-olds. Pajot turns it over instead of shooting from a great area. And now it's Foudy. I wish we had a slider that told shooters how much to shoot. Benin, and we can't get any shots off. Perfetti the backhand. Off the loose puck. Carter Hart is there. So we started off well. Begun to slip up from there. It's Kravtsov, Gambrell, and Sillinger out. We know how effective this line can be. Face-off goes to the Flyers, though. Travis Konechny over the line. Dishes back to the point. Wagner shot. Save. Rebound battled for by Foligno. Wagner tries to throw it in front. That was actually a good attempt, but Dylan Gambrell was there. Here's Vitaly Kravtsov. Kravtsov. Sillinger backhand. Saved by Hart. Strategy seems to be the same for both teams. Just sauce it in front and see what happens. That somehow goes back to the point. It's blocked by Sillinger. Vitaly Kravtsov. Sillinger. Now Gambrell shoots. Big save by Carter Hart. Great play there. Sillinger shot. Kick saved by Hart. Great puck movement from the second line. Tremendous. Here's Philly. Wagner. Big rebound, but we handle it. Great job by Gustafson. As the puck's dumped in. Provorov for covers without pressure. Fresh D pairing out, though, for the Sharks. The cut back. Puck dumped in. Kevin Hayes battling for it. Throws it. Wagner. Kick save. Rebound handled by Gregor. Darnell Nurse leads the rush. Toni Heinonen. And again, sauces it in front. I don't even know if I can mess with the sliders to prevent it. Those thrown in front turnovers. Heinonen. Just... genuinely, I wonder, have we ever watched the AI play one another? Because, Jesus, there needs to be more slider or programming logic options, please. Gregor throws it. Nurse able to get it on. Gregor nearly gets the loose puck. Darnell Nurse took a huge hit. Looks to be okay, though. And there you see the big problem with why we've struggled since the Chicago series. We can't stop taking penalties. Let's be honest. Call a spade here. As Philly wins another defensive zone draw. Ryan Johansson loses it for a second. Just tries to sauce it in front. Foudy to Perfetti. Loses it on the toe drag. Still onside. Foudy. Houston down the boards. Ellison back to the point. Benin throws it on. Kick save by Hart. Brendan Dillon having trouble. Morgan Frost is able to get rid of it. Chance here. Johansson for the former Shark. Dillon. Slap shot goes chest wide. As Frost recovers. Kick it over. Brink in front to Couturier. Misses as well. Defensive breakdowns for the Sharks. David Pastrnak has it, though. Cuts over to his left. Pasta sauces it. Hurdle shot. Easy glove save for Carter Hart. I think the first line, we got a couple of our lines. The coach has it set to crash the net, but even then it's like, really? What are you going to do, though? Our lines are much more tired, too, in comparison. Here's Connor Garland. Windmill doesn't work. Foligno's there. Dylan Gambrell for Cole Sillinger. Back again. Gambrell throws it in front. Foligno to Gambrell. Save. Kravtsov denied as well. Getting chances on Hart. Here's Sillinger. Tries to throw it in front. It's broken up. Here's Brendan Dillon. Chance here for the Flyers. One time broken up. Garland's there. Big save. Bad turnover, but recovered. Here's David Pastrnak. Sauces in front. Meyer kick save. Chances again. Carter Hart making some phenomenal saves right now to keep the Flyers in it. That's been the key for them for this entire series, and I imagine the entire postseason, as Patrick beats Gregor on the draw. Philly with the breakout. Connor Garland has it again. Takes a hit, but makes the play. Benin now quick passes. It's Heinonen. He'll dump it in. Tufte gives chase. He gets it. There's trouble on the boards, though, as he battles Travis Sanheim. That fourth line apparently not set to press at all in a 1-2-2, according to the coaching strategies that I can't change because it's our coach. Slap shot, broken up in front, recovered by Heinonen. Here's Riley Tufte. Dishes back for Gregor. Noah Gregor. One-timer glove save by Hart. David Pastrnak found himself as Tufte glitches out. David Pastrnak finds himself in a tremendous spot. Carter Hart's going to be the reason the Flyers win this, if they do. As Philly wins another defensive zone draw. Jesus Christmas. Travis Konechny. Back to the point. There's going to be a hook. Cole Perfetti goes to the box. And that is the opening that the Flyers needed. Cole Perfetti goes for a hook. And with the Flyers face-off dominance, which continues there, this could be trouble, although the puck ends up leaving the zone. Provorov carries it in, throws it in front. Bouncing puck, Pasta's able to clear. And a chance here to put the pressure on. Johansson battling with Gambrell. And we're going to recover this puck. Pastrnak has it to the point now. Foligno for Pasta. Couple of quick moves. Still battling for it is Pastrnak. Philly ultimately recovers with Konechny. Travis Konechny. Over for Farabee. Kick save. The rebound's there. Tomas Hertl with the interception. Hertl goes. Hertl denied. He had Carter Hart. He made one too many moves. Hanifin turns it over. Travis Konechny a chance on the rush himself. Konechny over kick save from Gustafson. Phenomenal. Sauce passes galore. One-timer. It just goes wide of the net. And we are able to clear chances at both ends on this Flyers power play. Hanifin has it. Tried a couple of quick passes. Hanifin still battling for it. And ultimately, Philly will recover. Morgan Frost for the Flyers. Drops back, and now it's Garland. Backhand nearly sneaks its way home. Gustafson is able to make the save. Do I have a timeout to call? For the love of God, I do. Thank God. Yeah, let's do that, because our penalty killers were dead. It'll obviously help them out too, but I want fresh legs out there for the last 31 seconds of the kill. As we ultimately get the puck, Timo Meier will clear. 25 seconds left. 25 left on this power play. Here's Morgan Frost. Bobby Brink, shot, rebounds there. Brink actually will get it back. Big saves on both ends. This ridiculously fast, unrealistic passing. Frost over, kick save again, rebound, blocker save on Brink. Gustafson coming up big. And we ultimately ice the puck. Henrik Gustafson going toe-to-toe with Carter Hart. Who will break first? And again, who will have a chance to win the cup in Philadelphia 2 nights from now as they win another draw? Brink paddled aside. Again, we don't have players who are necessarily bad at face-off. Shot goes wide, rebound, can't be tucked. A lot of wide shots from the Flyers. Johansson steps in, shot goes wide after the contact. Now it's Brink. Big hit on the boards, and we're finally going to get rid of it. Shabbat to Foligno. For the love of God, get a change. Shot, save, rebound. Meier can't pull the trigger. Circles around. Noah Hanifin shoots it just wide. Philly able to get the breakout. Ryan Johansson again, he's been everywhere. Morgan Frost, Provorov. Great stick work from 25. Saves the day. That was Darnell Nurse. absolutely saved the day. Now it's Dylan Gambrell. Tries to go to Kravtsov and turns it over to the surprise of absolutely nobody. Philly with another chance. Gambrell will pick it up. Cuts in front. Gambrell. Cuts through the middle. Finds Vitaly Kravtsov. Some weird passing. Gambrell can't throw it on. Sillinger to the point. Slap shot. Loose puck. Covered by the Flyers. And here's their counterattack. Patrick shoots it wide. Couturier will battle Noah Hannafin. Puck thrown in front. Garland's save again by Gustafson. Nurse lost his man, but he made it work. Goalie bails him out. Ridiculous passing again. As we are struggling to break it out, the third line getting hemmed in their own zone. Couturier. A tired Hannafin recovers. Ellison to Perfetti. We might finally be able to get that defensive change. Perfetti throws it in front. Loose puck gets in, and it's being waved off. That's going to be a kicked-in goal on Ellison. He kicked it to his tape, and it went across the line. That's going to be a called-off goal. Ellison can't bury the chance. I mean, I guess you can't say it wasn't kicked in. We march on. We march on. Face-off won by the Flyers. Quick break. It's up to Austin Wagner. He gets bumped off the puck. Konechny for Wagner. Now back again. Nobody shoots the damn thing. Allard in front. Pajot can't bury it on the doorstep. As Benin finds Gregor. Noah Gregor throws it in front. Heinonen shoots it wide. And they're going to get the breakout here. Chance. Travis Konechny all the time in the world. Allard can't pull the trigger. Dylan throws it on. It's deflected in front. And the Philadelphia Flyers, moments after a called off goal, win it. And they will have a chance to win the Stanley Cup on home ice. As Gustafson gets a bit too aggressive to defend the point shot, to paddle it aside. And it's deflected over the glove by Austin Wagner. Carter Hart stands on his head. And because of it, the Flyers have a chance to win the Cup. Noah Gregor's late tying goal was enough to get us to overtime, but the team ultimately did not have what it takes to get the job done. And thus, we go to Game 6. A must-win situation, of course. We have to win back-to-back games to make this happen. I don't really know if there's anything we can do to try and spark this team. I just know that we're not getting enough out of the top line right now. I can promise you that much. I don't really know what we can do. I don't really know. I don't think there's anything we can do. It's just whether or not the team's going to get the job done. I'm just switching sides for players where it makes sense to keep the lines the same, but get something slightly different going and hope that that helps. Personnel's the same. Change up sides. See what happens. Comes down to this. Game 6. Will there be a Game 7 back on home ice? Or will the Philadelphia Flyers be raising the Stanley Cup in just a few seconds? Let's find out. First period of Game 6 and a 1-0 lead for the Flyers. It's Sean Couturier as Carter Hart is beginning to take over the series if he wasn't already. Second period, 2-0 Philadelphia. They are 20 minutes away. As go goddamn figure, their superstar goalie's actually playing like a superstar, and it might win them the cup. Sanheim made it 2. We go to the third, trailing, desperate to find a way to beat Carter Hart. Power play for the Flyers. Bobby Brink makes it 3. Barring a miracle comeback, Kevin Hayes makes it 4. The Philadelphia Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. Do I even want to watch them raise it? I think I do. Because how poetic is it to have to watch this team stand there while Philly raises the cup that should have been theirs. We're going to fall short. Philly has a good team. There's no doubt about it. They have a top-notch goaltender who is playing well as he should, although how many times do you see top-notch goaltenders not play like top-notch goaltenders? At the end of the day, we're going to lose a close series where Carter Hart was the difference maker. But ultimately, our top players didn't do what they had to do. Gustafson had a bad game in Game 6. And I mean, we're looking at Hurdle, we're looking at Meyer, we're looking at Pasternak, we're looking at Vitaly Kravtsov. Just the offense, due in part to Carter Hart, dried up. And we're going to fall short because of it. We were that close. We were that close. Kravtsov's denied. We were that damn close to doing it. And we're going to fall short. A called off goal. And so many missed chances. Chance for Sillinger, denied again by Hart. Carter Hart will not be denied. For the first time, we make it out of the second round. We made it there for just the second time in general. We make it all the way to the Stanley Cup Final. And again, the Sharks fall short. Has a burst of speed. Couturier is denied on the breakaway. But if this wasn't the team to get it done, you have to wonder if there is a team that can get it done for us. Because I don't know if there is. At first I thought the second round would be as close as we were ever going to get. But ultimately we get to the Stanley Cup Final and fall in 6 games to the Flyers.
And there it is! Never gets tired of saying this. Your Stanley Cup champions. What a performance. They were on this series. They were detailed. They laid out a plan and they followed it as tightly as they could. They deserve to hoist the mug. Congratulations to the champions. No shame in getting to the Stanley Cup, but can you take solace in winning a conference championship? Yes, you can, but it's not going to be the same. Look at how happy the guys are that have won. They went all the way to the wall, and they found a way across the finish line. What an amazing achievement to win the cup. Hard-fought series by both teams, but one's going on and one's going home. One half of that line is a heck of a lot happier than the other as they get to go through.
One's going on and one's going home. No, I'm pretty sure that's not the case, unless you're saying going on to raise the cup in a few seconds. Pretty sure that's not the context of the statement, though. How Carter Hart didn't win the Vezina, I have no, or the Vezina, the Conn Smythe, I have no idea. They give it to Ivan Provorov as a defenseman, 17 points. Maybe work on Provorov's player face a little bit. That'd be cool to get that scanned in. But Ivan Provorov is the Conn Smythe winner. As the crowd is dead silent on home ice. Yes, I will complain about it every single time, because it completely ruins the presentation. I don't mind the cutscene, although again, I would love, I don't know, let there be fucking confetti on the ice, let there be streamers. FIFA has pyro. You know, and let the crowd actually be excited. Like FIFA's sound effects when they raise the cup, they're better than that. Dead silence. Like I said, the animation a lot of people are tired of. I'd love to be able to pick the order that you get it. You know, for who gets the cup, aside from the captain, of course. But regardless. Yeah. This needs to be improved. Frickin' get the copyright to We Are the Champions or some sort of damn song. The presentation, like if I'm gonna lose and have to sit here and be a loser, at least let the presentation be really cool and atmospheric. Instead of Ryan Johansson skating around the morgue known as the Wells Fargo Center while rubbing it in my face that this team is who we thought they were. Bunch of goddamn chokers. Okay, I can't listen to dead silence. You know how that cup celebration ends. At least the order was kind of nice. We fall short in the final. Carter Hart with a shutout in a cup-clinching game. And that leaves us with a whole lot of questions. Spoiler alert, if you're not caught up on the Draft to Glory series. But that series is likely done because of the issues with re-signing players and just where we are in that series in general. This... I mean, I feel like we need another season. We need to see what Vitaly Kravtsov can do. We need to see if this team can finally get the goddamn job done. We were without Erik Karlsson. Maybe that's the reason why we made it. But you look at the goal scoring, and it was a collective team effort, but we only had one guy in double digits. And ultimately, I mean, Sillinger, Perfetti, and Foudy outscored David Pastrnak and Timo Meier. That's unacceptable. That is absolutely unacceptable. Pastrnak and Meier let us down. Big time. Big time. And it's just another chapter in the disappointment for this organization's history. We get so close. And if anything's to go off of, if we're going to make it back to the Cup Final next year, it's going to be Philadelphia looking for a repeat because we are in the era of the repeat. You know, we knock out Vegas. Erik Karlsson won another goddamn Norris. Bobby Brink won the Calder this year. Carter Hart won his third straight Vezina, and you can see why. We got a lot of questions. Whole lot of questions moving forward. But ultimately, it just wasn't our year.